Off-canvas content is an important use of responsive web design. You've probably seen it if you browse with a smartphone or tablet. Content resides off the page but appears when you swipe left or right. It's a terrific way of hiding content until it's needed, and in this video I'll discuss off-canvas content. In this video I'll discuss off-canvas content. So I've got a basic layout here with a drop-down menu at the top of the screen, and the drop-down menu is active so I can actually hover over and see the buttons being identified. And then I've just set up three side-by-side divs called Layout 1, Layout 2, and Layout 3 just to show sort of a standard type of content container that we would see in a website. And if I shrink this window down, so I'll go ahead and just start dragging it down, at a certain point we're going to see things change. And right there. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got our content. Now remember, I use colors to represent those three side-by-side containers, Layout 1, Layout 2, and Layout 3. And here you can see the blue one, the very first one on the left-hand side in the larger screen. And as I scroll down, we'll see the green one and the pink one. So they've been stacked now, and I'll show you in a second how I did that. And we also have some content here in a flyout menu that's a toggle. So if we go ahead and click, we can turn that on and turn that off. So let's take a look at our code. Now what I've done here is set up three divs, and they're right here. So these are the three side-by-side divs that we see that become stacked when we actually make the screen or the viewport size small enough that it actually kicks into play. And if we go back up and take a look at our media queries, here we've got the media query for max width 800 pixels. So when the screen size becomes smaller than 801 pixels, these rules kick in. And here I've got my three containers, Layout 1, Layout 2, and Layout 3. So we've got those three right there. And if we go ahead and take a look up here, we've got our layout containers. Now this is just the basic CSS, so this is the stuff that's going to kick into play regardless of the screen size, and we've set them up there. So we've got them displaying as block here, but if I scroll down to min width 801 pixels, you can see that I've got Layout 1, Layout 2, and Layout 3, and this is when the screen size gets wide enough that we can put them side by side, so we're actually floating them left. And that's the key to it. So we're floating them left on a large screen, and then we're not floating them when the screen gets smaller. And that's very important for stacking that content. Now, with the menu container, and here it is right here, that menu container, you remember that I also stacked that in the smaller screen. You click on the button on the right, and they drop down. And I've done that the same way. I've actually got that displayed here as block. But if we look at our menu buttons here, I've got float none. So on the smaller screen size in that media query, remember this is the one that's less than 801 pixels, we've actually got that floating as none, and that's the way you stack those containers on top of each other, and that's the menu containers. And we're doing the same thing with those layout containers, so we're getting that nice scrollable content one on top of the other the way we would see it on a small screen website, and that's how you do it in responsive design to deal with off-canvas content.